So AI, and this time in the form of Pokemon. So you see those videos on either like Instagram or whatever on YouTube Shorts where they take a character, they show them the character as they are in the show, the anime or whatever, and then it transitions to an AI, generated version of them. Like, oh, this is what they would look like if they were real. This is the Pokemon in real life, all 151 Kanto region, which, I mean, come on. For a kid, if you were like me, growing up in the 90s, this would be so awesome because, with AI, with all the flack we give it, it is good at reimagining Pokemon or things like that and making them look like they could exist in this world. Now, while yes, you have Pokemon like Rattata or whatever, purple and other weird fucking colors, it still looks enough to where it's like, oh wow, that looks like it could exist in this world. But it's 16 minutes long, but this is, you have the kind of like a David Attenborough kind of voice going on, I think. Although it should really be Professor Oak. It really should be Professor Oak. But yeah, all 151 Pokemon reimagined with AI.
In the first days of this strange new world, mysterious creatures appeared beside
Dragonite.
humans. This is the Bulbasaur roams humid undergrowth, the bud on its back soaking up gentle rays. Ivysaur's
I like
blossom
the sound that
swells
was
heavier each day,
for it.
a sign that power is awakening inside. When Venusaur's flower is in full bloom, the ground itself feels richer around it. Charmander guards the flame on its tail, a tiny inferno that mirrors its life force. Charmeleon clashes with foes, every swipe of its claws leaving sparks in the air.
I think Deadpool and Charmeleon would get along real well. Like, this is the kind of thing, it's like, it looks like Charmeleon, but then everything is textured weirdly, like its stomach, and I don't think the stomach portion would have the same texture as the rest of it. This is what I mean sometimes, but you get the idea. It looks like Charmeleon, except he's too happy. You need to make him angry.
Charizard carves through the clouds, tracing lines of fire across the horizon. Squirtle basks at riverbanks, retreating into its sturdy shell at the first sign of trouble. Wartortle kicks through the waves, its fluffy tail steering it like a rudder. Blastoise plants its feet and fires.
I like the battle damage. You see its cuts, and you see how like barnacles growing on it. You got like holes right there. Its cannons are rusted because obviously in the water metal cannons are gonna rust. Blastoise. That is really nice. I mean, this looks like what with like scratches. Its shell is all damaged, and again, even though it's blue, the way it is, it looks like it's something that could be seen in the real world. Now, if it was like a lighter shade of blue, kind of like what they did with Stitch in the live action, how they kept true to his design, but he looks like all the colors were toned down to where it's more realistic looking, to where it looks like it could be something that may possibly somehow exist in this world. But I love the whole damaged aspect. The cut right there is his elbow, is the slash looking. You got the barnacles, you got the rusty cannons, you got scratch marks, holes. This Blastoise has seen a lot of shit.
Water jets blasting through stone as if it were paper. Caterpie inches along branches, always nibbling, always growing. Metapod hangs in silence, its hard shell hiding a quiet transformation. Butterfree drifts over fields, its powdery wings leaving a shimmering trail behind. Weedle weaves through thickets, its stinger raised against careless predators. Kakuna clings to trees, motionless, storing energy for the moment it awakens. Beedrill slices the air in swarms, double stingers ready to strike without mercy. Pidgey rides soft breezes, picking at seeds and...
And there we have Pidgey. Very much like something that could exist in this world, because we do have birds that look like pretty much like that exist in this world. So I really like how AI does. Again, I give AI a lot of flack, but when it's done right, it really is like magic. You know, being able to take something like Pokemon that you know cannot exist in this world, and yet making them look as if they possibly could.
bugs on forest floors. Pidgeotto circles open plains, sharp eyes locked on prey from above. Pidgeot tears through the sky, its wings beating faster than the eye can follow. Rattata darts along paths, razor teeth able to gnaw through almost anything. Raticate patrols its territory, its powerful incisors a constant threat. Spearow chirps harshly, never staying still in the open sky. Fearow glides on wide wings, its spear-like beak striking down in an instant. Ekans coils through tall grass, its scales whispering against the ground. Arbok flares its hood, eerie patterns sending a clear warning. Stay away. Pikachu stores crackling energy in its cheeks, tiny paws ready to unleash a shock. Raichu's tail hums with voltage, grounding bolts that could level small trees. Sandshrew burrows deep, its sandy hide blending perfectly with the desert. Sandslash curls into a living, spiked wheel, rolling straight through danger. Nidoran female crouches low in the grass, poisonous spines ready if cornered. Nidorina keeps close to her group, cautious but fiercely protective. Nidoqueen's armored body stands between her family and any threat. Nidoran hops forward without fear, trusting in the venom on its horn. Nidorino charges hard, toxic horn glowing with dangerous energy. Nidoking...
Oh yeah, Return of the King. I love Nidoking. I've always loved Nidoking. Like when you think of like a fantasy, also before I just again with same thing with Blastoise, like it's just so beaten up. Like right here, you can see this long gash on its arm. You know, you can see all this battle damage. I love that. But you know, Nidoking and Nidoqueen are just two of the most unique. I mean, they're pretty much what started with the whole male female you know, specifying, because before it was just like Pokemon are Pokemon, but then we have Nidoran male and Nidoran female, Nidoking and Nidoqueen, and then it's like, wait a minute, we have Nidoking and Nidoqueen, or you know, the Nidoran you know, family, you know, male and female. Why don't we just differentiate all the Pokemon? You know, we have like Pokemon breeding and all that, you know. So but they were unique back then because they were male, female, specifically Nidoran man, Nidoran male, and I like how the Nidoran male was pink and or purple depending on how it's shown, and the Nidoran female was like a light shade of blue. It's kind of like Blue's Clues, how blue is a female, but they're blue, magenta is a boy, and they're pink, or rather magenta. But yeah, I just love Nidoking, and even Nidoqueen. She's really badass too. But like when you think of like a really badass Pokemon, Nidoking is usually one on people's lists between Nidoking, Tyranitar, Pokemon like that. But Nidoking, it's good to be the king.
stomps through the earth, a brutal mix of muscle, horn, and poison. Clefairy gathers under the moon, their soft steps echoing like stardust. Clefable drifts near still lakes, responding to the quiet songs of the night sky. Vulpix's 6 tails curl and flick, each one holding a flicker of hidden fire. Ninetail's golden fur shimmers, its burning curse said to last a lifetime. Jigglypuff hums a lullaby, scribbling on those who fall asleep mid-song. Wigglytuff's plush body hides surprising resilience and power. Zubat darts through caves.
And then you just saw a bit of the AI in action there. How somehow, just watch.
Resilience and
somehow the Wigglytuff is now like a centaur. You know, you got her arms up there, and then she's got 4 legs down there. Again, it's AI. It's not perfect, but the overall design of these Pokemon are what they should be. You know, you see people on YouTube using Pokemon AI, AI pictures, and it looks nothing like Pokemon. You know, they look more like Digimon than anything. But for the most part, this stuff, even if there's like stupid AI stuff right there, these Pokemon look like what they would, you know, what they should. And the Ninetales, though, my God, I love Ninetales. It's so majestic and elegant, and you know the fact that it's a Japanese mythology, the kitsune, and you know the fact that Vulpix had a pre-evolution that had less tails and only had like 3 tails, and I love that line.
power. Zubat darts through caves, seeing with sound where eyes are useless. Golbat swoops in the dark, fangs ready to drain the strength from its prey. Oddish wanders at night, planting its roots to drink in the moon-charged soil. Gloom drips with foul nectar, its smell driving away most.
It's dripping with something. I don't think it's nectar. I think this gloom came across a very, very, very bad human. Because that's not nectar that's dripping from it.
To come near. Vileplume's massive petals release pollen that can both dazzle and destroy. Paris scuttles through forests, mushrooms on its back slowly taking control. Parasect moves at the fungus's command, its old self buried long ago. Venonat's fuzzy body conceals keen, compound eyes that see what others can't. Venomoth flutters by lamplight, glowing scales drifting down like toxic snow. Diglett tunnels beneath fields, unseen but felt as the ground shifts. Dugtrio erupts from the earth as one, 3 minds sharing a single purpose. Meowth sneaks down alleyways, eyes always on anything that shines. Persian walks with regal calm, its swift claws ready if respect is not given. Psyduck holds its aching head, mysterious power building behind its blank stare.
I've said before, and I'll say it again, the older you get, the more you relate with Psyduck and choose him to be like a favorite Pokemon. The dude always suffers a headache. Sounds like just being an adult. It's just one of those things. You're like, oh my God, this is my favorite Pokemon. No, this isn't. And then most adults will be like, oh, no. Psyduck. Why? Because it always has a fucking headache.
Psy-ai-ai. Psyduck. Psyduck. Psy-ai-ai.
Golduck slices through water, moving like a sleek blue spear. Mankey swings from branch to branch, anger sparking at the smallest provocation. primeape becomes a whirlwind of fists, impossible to calm once it snaps. Growlithe stands by its trainer's side, loyal heart blazing hotter than its flames. Arcanine races across continents, a mythical runner cloaked in fire. Poliwag drifts near the surface, the swirl on its belly spinning with every breath. Poliwhirl stirs ponds as it turns, its spiral said to hypnotize those who stare too long. Poliwrath dominates wild rapids, fighting currents with pure strength. Abra naps constantly, vanishing to safety the moment danger approaches. Kadabra bends spoons and space alike, warping reality with a single thought. Alakazam's twin spoons focus a mind sharper than any blade. Machop trains with boulders, building a body made for combat. Machoke wears its belt like a seal, holding back destructive power. Machamp's 4 arms strike from every angle, overwhelming foes in seconds. Bellsprout sways in the breeze, thin stem hiding surprising speed.
Okay, hear me out. No, I'm not gonna do that. But wow, those are some luscious lips, some plump, luscious lips you got there, Bellsprout. You know, sometimes also nice. Maybe them being realistic wouldn't be such a good thing sometimes. You know, because everyone goes for the other Pokemon, you know, the female type Pokemon like Gardevoir, but then you have the simplistic Pokemon like this. And if they were to look like this in real life, yeah, I don't think Gardevoir or any of the, you know, Lopunny or any one of them would be the favorites. Small, portable, doesn't take up a lot of space even when it's out of its Pokeball.
Weepinbell hangs quietly from trees, waiting to drop on unsuspecting prey. Victreebel lures victims with sweet scent, then devours them in an instant. Tentacool floats near the surface, its nearly transparent body hiding venom-tipped tentacles. Tentacruel rises from the deep, its many limbs gripping the sea like a throne. Geodude rests among stones, often kicked by travelers who mistake it for a rock. Graveler rolls downhill, crushing everything unlucky enough to be in its way. Golem's rocky shell shrugs off explosions, its steps leaving tremors behind. Ponyta gallops over fields, flames trailing from its mane like ribbons. Rapidash sprints faster than the wind, a blazing comet on 4 legs. Slowpoke stares at the water, forgetting why it came to the river in the first place. Slowbro moves calmly with Shelder on its tail, the two living as one. Magnemite hovers near power lines, feeding on stray currents. Magneton's combined force warps magnetism around it, disrupting machines nearby. Farfetch'd clutches its leek like a treasured weapon, never letting it go. Doduo sprints on 2 legs, its twin heads arguing about where to run. Dodrio thunders across the land, 3 minds scanning in every direction. Seal slides over ice floes, barking playfully between dives. Dugong glides under frozen seas, its horns slicing through slush and snow. Grimer oozes through city waste, turning pollution into its next meal.
Ivan Ooze. That it looks like a monster, you know, something Ivan you would see in like the Power Rangers movie. You know, when he there's that moment where he does, you know, he hawks up fucking all the purple goop and it turns into his meet my kids, and then kind of rises up and start. Yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of, especially this color right here. Oh, Grimer.
Muck leaves a poisonous trail, its presence marked by a suffocating stench. Shelter.
That just looks like shit. Also, what's muck spelled backwards? But this is truly unfortunate, Muck. You're covered in shit, son. Like, all of this is just... You're no longer that nice purple color. You're like brown. You're covered in shit.
Poisonous trail, its presence marked by a suffocating stench. Shelter clamps onto rocks, grinning as waves crash over it. Cloister's spiked shell repels almost any attack, secrets locked inside. Ghastly floats as a toxic cloud, licking fear into anyone it touches. Haunter peeks from walls, its jagged...
Haunter, one of my favorite Pokemon. I love him. I don't know what it is about. I think it may be because of, the episode with, the Terror Tower and Ash trying to beat Sabrina. But that Haunter, and every time we see Haunter, they're very just, like, playful. And it's like they don't want to hurt anyone. They just want to have fun. Haunters just want to have fun. But then you get these Pokedex, like, they want you dead. They will fucking haunt you. They will hunt you, and they will hide in your shadows, and they will creep up. They want you dead. But then you actually see these things, and it's like, haunt. And they're like pulling their eyeballs out and having a good time. And you're like, I think someone's lying to us here. I think someone's lying. But yeah, Haunter has always been one of my favorite Pokemon. I love Haunter. He's just such a cool Pokemon. Like, there's nothing against, Ghastly or Gengar, but I love Haunter. I love him.
Jagged grin glowing in the dark. Gengar hides in shadows behind you, laughing softly when you shiver. Onyx bores through mountains, its stone segments grinding like thunder. Drowsy sniffs out dreams, feeding on sweet ones like a nightly snack. Hypno swings its pendulum, drawing minds into deep, eerie sleep. Krabby scuttles along shorelines, its claws snapping at drifting seaweed and shells. Kingler's oversized pincer slams down with enough force to shatter boulders. Voltorb masquerades as a Pokeball, ready to explode at the slightest shock. Electrode rolls recklessly, its stored power always on the verge of detonation. Execute clusters together, each face reacting differently to the world. Executor towers like a walking palm tree, every head thinking its own thoughts. Cubone gazes at the moon, clutching the skull of the one it lost. Marowak hardens its heart, wielding its bone club with precise, painful strikes. Hitmonlee's legs stretch and snap, delivering kicks from impossible distances. Hitmonchan's punches change types, each fist mimicking a different element. Lickitung explores everything with its tongue, leaving nothing untouched. Coughing bobs in polluted air, puffing out gas that makes eyes water. Wheezing hovers as twin spheres, spreading toxic fumes with every sigh. Rhyhorn barrels forward without thinking, crushing rocks and trees alike. Rhydon stands upright, drilling through solid stone with its horn. Chansey cradles its egg gently, sharing it with those in desperate need. Tangela wraps itself in vines, its true body hidden from prying eyes. Kangaskhan charges with its child in its pouch, striking down any threat. Horsey rides the currents, puffing ink when startled. Cedra's sharp fins and spines warn hunters to keep their distance. Goldeen twirls her tail gracefully, horn gleaming as she swims. Sea King claims rivers and lakes, ramming rivals with its lance-like horn. Staryu's core glows softly, even when its limbs are broken off. Starmie spins like a star-shaped beacon, its gem shining in many colors. Mr. Mime shapes invisible walls, trapping attacks, and sometimes people mid-air. Scyther cleaves through tall grass, blades whistling with every swing. Jinx dances in the snow, eerie song echoing through frozen valleys. Electabuzz stalks storm clouds, drawing lightning straight into its body. Magmar lives near molten rock, its blood as hot as lava.
Okay. So again, we see the kind of the downfall of, or not the downfall, the downside of AI. So we had like this David Attenborough kind of voice, and then it just switched to like a generic AI voice. But we saw things like with Tangela, we saw like this creepy little mouth. Jinx looked absolutely terrifying. We have Magmar, where I don't know. Magmar. Maybe it would look like, I mean, it's not made of molten lava, but it can withstand it. So, I mean, but it's got the general idea, at least the face part of it. But yeah.
Pinsir's horns snap shut with crushing force, lifting foes clean off the ground. Taurus storms across the plains, all three tails whipping as it charges. Magikarp splashes desperately, weak now, but refusing to give up. Gyarados erupts from the depths, rage turning calm seas into chaos. Lapras ferries travelers on its back, singing soft, haunting melodies over the waves. Ditto melts and reforms, perfectly copying whatever stands before it. Eevee's unstable genes hold countless possibilities, branching into many futures. Vaporeon slips into war.
Did you know? No, I'm not gonna do that. But Eevee, oh. I mean, okay, so I love Vaporeon, but just there's this one card, from the, you know, the Pokemon card game that I think out of all the sets that have come out, this one is still my favorite. It's so simple, but yet for me, it's probably still the most gorgeous card. It's so simplistic, but yeah, hang on, let me bring it up. From Neo Destiny. Great set. It has light Pokemon, it's got like dark Pokemon. Best card of all time. Best fucking card of all time. The artwork just, I mean, how could you look at it and be like, no, it sucks. This is the most gorgeous card in my opinion.
And vanishes, body merging with the waves. Jolteon crackles with static, fur standing on end like a living thundercloud. Flareon's inner fire burns intensely, every breath warm as a furnace. Porygon flickers between worlds, a Pokémon born from pure data. Omanyte, revived from fossilized shells, clings to rocks in ancient seas reborn. Omastar grips prey with spiraled tentacles, dragging it into its jagged beak. Kabuto crawls along the sea floor, unchanged since prehistoric times. Kabutops stalks like a reaper, scythe arms slicing through the water. Aerodactyl screeches overhead, a Stone Age terror ruling the open sky. Snorlax dozes wherever it pleases, turning roads into dead ends. Articuno glides on icy winds, each wing beat sprinkling frozen mist.
And of the trio, the birds, Articuno is by far the best. I mean, Moltres may look cool and Zapdos, but Articuno is just so majestic. You know, its tail, how it just like a ribbon just flows behind it. Just everything about it is just majestic. But of the trio, and it's like, oh well, is that for all of them? You know, for like all the trios? No, it doesn't matter. You know, majestic, like Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. Entei is my favorite. I mean, Suicune would be the more majestic one, but I love Entei. So, you know. And then what about the Reggies? Well, there's who was it the one who was controversial because of the Nazi salute? I think was it Registeel? He had an animation where he's like, and people were like, "Oh my god, he's a Nazi." Yes, the Pokemon that was buried underground thousands of years before. Yeah, he's totally a Nazi. He's the original Nazi. These people are fucking stupid. But yeah, I love. I mean, it's not like I don't like Moltres or Zapdos. I love them, but of that trio, I like Articuno the most. And it's not because his name is Articuno as Uno as a number one. Which is also weird because everyone usually says Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. You know? But yet it's Articuno 1, and then should be Zapdos, you know, Dos as 2, and Moltres 3. But you know, you'll hear it in any version of, you know, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. 23 is number 1. Oh. You know, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. But yet you never really hear anyone say them in order. You know, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. It's weird. Weird.
Zapdos splits the sky with thunder, storms gathering in its wake. Moltres soars in a blaze, its fiery wings igniting the very air. Dratini hides in deep waters, growing stronger where few can see it. Dragonair drifts through clouds, its serene presence calming even storms. Dragonite crosses oceans in a single night, a gentle titan with immense might. Mewtwo was created in a lab, overwhelming power bound to a restless spirit. Mew plays among the clouds, a tiny myth said to hold the genes of all Pokémon.
That was pretty cool. As soon as I saw Mewtwo, I'm like, oh my god. But I'm glad they kind of like cracked away that armor and showed us Mewtwo. Yeah, some of it, like I said, you know, you see AI really coming through like with this. That's just creepy. That's creepy. We never get to see any real facial features from Tangela except for their eyes. And then you have like Ghastly here. You know, you can see for some reason they have like little tiny arms and legs instead of just being a puff of smoke.
Psy-ai-ai. Psy-luck.
But, you know, you see stuff like, you know, Ninetales looking absolutely perfect. This is how I would imagine. It's very realistic looking. You know, you have foxes that have this kind of color. The only thing that, you know, people would be put off on is the tails. You know, it's like animals don't have that many tails. But apart from that, this looks like an animal that could exist in the real world. Let's say hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then assuming we have 2 more, like right there, 8, 9. This was really cool. I love this because even in the, you know, the anime and the games, they're supposed to be translucent like regular jellyfish. But here we are, and they're actually, you can see inside of them. That's really, really cool. And then the same thing with Tentacruel. You can see like for some reason like crystals or something inside there. But it's the same thing. It's also where this is a big old male Rapidash. It's a male. Farfetch. Got Doduo. Yeah, like the way it looks, it's very realistic looking. The only thing that would throw people off was that it has 2 heads. But the way its body is shaped, its size, it looks like something that could exist in this world. Doo gong gong gong. And you know, I love how Seal and Dugong look just like that. You know, just like a Seal and Dugong. Then we have the more unfortunate ones like Grimer and Muck. Shelder with the tongue, it's just kind of creepy because it shows it with his weird mouth. But you know, Onyx looks pretty cool though. This is just creepy. Like it really is. And like giving them like human feet. No. They don't have human feet in you know, but again, it's AI, so. Also, Hitmonchan is supposed to have like a armor type thing going on. Like a fucking Green Ranger bullshit. Lift your tongue. Wah. But then you see stuff like Goldeen. It's just like a regular fucking goldfish. It's a goldfish with a horn. Something that could very well exist in real life. Now, obviously, they messed up with this because Staryu and Starmie, they have the gem on the front, but not on the back. They don't. They're not. It's not like a 2-sided gem sort of thing. You know, they turn around. Also, I just noticed the damage on this thing, though. You know, I do. Like I said, I like them showing like if it was as if it was the real world. All this damage, like someone just took a fucking bite out of this thing. That Scyther, that's just fucking terrifying. That I'm sorry. Good luck trying to sleep tonight. That thing is going to be your sleep paralysis demon. Magmar, Pinsir, Carp, Magikarp. I love how Ditto here. It's like what's Ditto feeling? Ditto's like, screw my life. Also, you can again with the AI, you can see that right there. Eevee doesn't really have any like eyebrow things, but then for some reason suddenly the AI produces like little eyebrow things or little separate eyeballs or something. Did you know Vaporeon can take human dick really well, apparently? That's the long short of it. That apparently this is the perfect Pokemon if you are a trainer and you have the urge to stick your dick inside of a Pokemon, this would be the perfect Pokemon to do it. Forget Gardevoir and Lopunny and all of them. No, this is the Pokemon you want to go to. And the fact that someone put that much thought into like their move set and their base stats and their size and this and that, all to say, yeah, this be the perfect Pokemon to fuck. My boy Flareon. I love Flareon. And then again with the AI, you know, their mouth would not be like that. It would be like, you know, like a squid type thing where you have the beak at the bottom. You know, even with Amistar, it says that with its beak. But yet it kind of shows it more like with a flappy mouth. Do you fear death? And this, Kabuto is basically a horseshoe crab. This is just like not. It's like a beetle with red eyes. Kabuto is basically a horseshoe crab, which are basically living fossils. So I don't know why the AI went with this, but you know, it's whatever. Aerodactyl. You can see some more, like right here. You can see like two sets of fangs or whatever, and then suddenly they disappear. But other than that, like that looks like a perfect representation of Articuno. The cold never bothered me anyway. But I might do look at more of them, maybe not just Pokemon, but I'm sure they have like Digimon ones, and I've seen those. I've seen people bringing like Yu-Gi-Oh cards to life. You know, like, oh, here's a Dark Magician girl, and you know, Slot Machine, and you know, the Tricky and stuff like that. So, but AI can be really, really fun when used properly. For the most part, these were what you would think about if Pokemon were real. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.